God, I come before you tonight with a heart weighed down, carrying the hidden burdens that come from walking alongside the men I love. Husbands, sons, pastors, friends, whose leadership shapes my family and my world. In the quiet corners of my mind, there are fears I never say aloud. What if they falter? What if I fail them? Each heartbeat can feel like a question mark, searching for certainty in a world that shifts like sand beneath my feet. Even as I whisper these words, I sense that you already know my worries. You have counted every trembling thought. There are days when the weight of expectation presses heavy on my shoulders. To be supportive, understanding, ever strong, never shaken. Yet too often, strength feels like a distant shore I'm swimming toward, arms tired from the currents of daily life. You see me in these moments, Lord, when my smile wavers and my spirit wilts. My prayers today aren't only for the men who lead, but also for the secret doubts that sprout in my own soul as I walk beside them. Sometimes I imagine myself as a tree, roots tangled deep in the soil of faith. The winds of uncertainty blow, the news, the work pressures, disagreements at home, and my leaves tremble. You promise in the ancient scriptures that those who trust in you are like trees planted by water, never withering, always bearing fruit. Let those words wash over me now, reminding every cell in my anxious body that I am held, even when I quake. When my partner carries the mantle of leadership at home, I feel both pride and pressure. I have watched him wrestle with decisions and bear the invisible scars of shouldering so much. Lord, sometimes I wish I could take away his fears, lighten his load, but I wonder if I'm doing enough. Guilt creeps in. If only I prayed more, encouraged more, believed more. But you remind me that partnership isn't perfection, but presence. Teach me to offer not just my advice but my listening, not just my strength but my softness. I think of other women too, my friends at church, sisters across the country. Each of us with different stories but shared questions. How do we support the men we love without losing ourselves? How do we let go of the silent, stubborn urge to fix every flaw? You who shaped us with delicate intention, hold the answers I crave. Tonight, I lay down my own armor and let myself be bare. Just me, just this moment, vulnerable and hoping. Sometimes I remember sitting at the kitchen table, small hands folded, watching as voices clashed over what it means to really lead. Even as a child, I picked up the residue of tension, the ache of wanting peace. These memories echo when conflicts rise, when decisions need making and I ache for harmony. When anxiety makes my mind buzz with what ifs and if onlys, let your word anchor me like a lighthouse through the fog. You know every role I play. Wife, mother, friend, sister, worker. Each title has its own demands, and sometimes it feels impossible to juggle them well and still offer authentic support to those taking the lead. The pressure can build like rainwater flooding a riverbank. Will I spill over, or will you help me find the channel for peace? Hand in mine, I believe you do not ask for perfection, but for trust, minute by minute, hour by hour. Today, I confess my frustration when it feels like I'm unheard, my wisdom dismissed. I want partnership, not a pedestal or passive patience. Help me find my voice, not an echo, but a true call, shaped by the Spirit's steadying presence. I pray for empathy that listens deeply, for words that heal instead of harden, for a unity that isn't uniform but beautifully woven from our differences. Sometimes, Lord, anxious thoughts steal my sleep as I replay conversations, choices, and missed moments. I wonder if the path we're on is the right one, or if we're headed toward unknown cliffs. In these restless hours, I long for assurance that you lead us even when we can't see the map. My mind craves guarantees, but faith grows best in these shadowed places where we step out anyway. Let my trust in you become the foundation underfoot for both myself and those I support. You see the weariness that settles on me after long days, work deadlines, family dinners, hard talks. My body aches and my patience runs thin. I long for a sense of safety, a reminder that I am not alone in this maze of expectations and responsibilities. Pour your calming presence over me like warm sunlight, releasing the tension clenched in my shoulders, filling me with new resilience. I remember when you called ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Moses, Ruth, David, Esther. Their strength wasn't because they had all the answers, but because they clung to you when doubts flooded in. When I feel small, unsure, or inadequate in supporting male leadership, let me stand on their shoulders, imperfect, yet chosen for such a time as this. Lord, as men carry their assigned weights, I pray for their hearts. Make them gentle and courageous, receptive and wise. And as I walk alongside them, grant me patience for the learning curves, the setbacks, the awkward silences. Let me see beyond the burden to the beauty of shared journeys. May your compassion knead itself into my daily words and my unspoken thoughts. For those watching, there's a special ebook in our pinned comment called Don't Think, Trust and Surrender that can help ease anxiety symptoms. Remember, this complements but doesn't replace professional guidance. I pray the words in that book settle softly into open hearts, opening up a new way to walk through the uncertainty. Some days, it feels like there's a silent competition. Whose stress is greater, whose sacrifice is heavier. In these spaces, remind me, Lord, that we're not adversaries but allies. Let me champion my husband's dreams as he cheers for mine. Let our mutual encouragement be a seedbed where hope takes root, and anxiety loses its grip. I confess that at times, I question whether I am enough. Enough faith, enough patience, enough wisdom. You see my hidden fears, that I might let others down, that my efforts will never measure up. Yet, in this moment, I feel you whisper gentle acceptance, calling me by name, inviting me to rest in who I am, not just what I do or how well I support. In the chaos of carpools, meetings, and never-ending to-do lists, my mind can spiral into anxious daydreams of what might go wrong. The fear of letting others down presses in. I ask you to show me how to pause, to breathe, to dwell in the sacred slowness where your voice sings above the static. May I become a wellspring of calm that my family and friends can draw from. There are hours when my prayers feel small, drowned out by louder doubts. But your word reminds me that even the smallest faith, a mustard seed, can move mountains. Let these moments when I feel weak or unsure become invitations for your strength to shine through. I trust that when I reach the end of myself, you meet me with fresh mercy. Grant me wisdom to know when to speak and when to hold space, when to step forward and when to step back. Help me celebrate the victories of the men I walk alongside, without losing sight of my own voice and value. Knit our dreams together so neither of us stand alone in the wilderness, but move onward in step with you. There are times my longing for approval, my perfectionism, leaves no room for joy. Remind me that worth isn't won by flawless support or endless striving, but is found in the safety of your acceptance. Let laughter bubble back into my days, shaking loose the dust of anxiety and making room for lightness, connection, and shared delight. When I see my husband or son disappointed or discouraged, my heart aches to make it right. But I can only do so much, so I hand them once more into your care. Teach me the trust that releases, the hope that sits quietly, knowing you are working in ways I can't yet see. As I lift the leadership of men in my life to you, I also lift the fatigue, the frustration, the weariness that comes from supporting in the shadows. Fill these hidden places with your secret joys, a word from a friend, an answered prayer, the simple delight of a shared meal. Let everyday moments become tiny, holy triumphs that scatter the darkness. Sometimes I envy those who seem so steady, never flustered, always confident. But you remind me that behind every brave face is a hidden story. May I become someone who honors vulnerability, both mine and theirs. Let my empathy be my gift, my presence a safe harbor for others to land and exhale. Draw me into a deeper sense of community, Lord, a tapestry of women supporting one another through every fear and frustration. Open my eyes to the needs of those around me, so I can give and receive encouragement, wisdom, and grace. Let us become living reminders that we are never alone in our struggles, but knit together by purpose and love. On stormy days when everything feels uncertain, when leadership falters or plans fall through, remind me that your story is never derailed by a single moment. Let my heart find rhythm in your promises, my hope anchored in steady hands. Even if my world shakes, let me remember that you hold the blueprints to every new beginning. I pray for a courage that's not about loud declarations or grand gestures, but the quiet resilience to keep showing up, keep loving, keep supporting, and keep hoping. May every tear I shed water the seeds of compassion in me and in those I love. Let our home become a greenhouse for patience and peace. Guide me in seeing the hidden victories. The moments of apology, the willingness to try again, the small steps toward healing and growth. Help me notice the ways leadership isn't just about big decisions, but about every act of humility and kindness woven into the daily routine. Let a wave of joy, grounded in your faithful presence, rush through my spirit now. Release the serotonin of laughter, the dopamine of progress, the oxytocin of belonging, the endorphins of purpose, making me whole, radiant, and ready to face tomorrow again. Plant hope in my heart like a sunrise that never fades. Let all my vulnerabilities shared tonight become an offering back to you, the source of my strength and the reason I keep trying. For every woman watching, may community flourish, anxiety step back, and partnership deepen. If this prayer has touched you, share it with someone who needs comfort, and don't forget to like and let others find hope.